Welcome. Dawes County Board of Commissioners voting session today is Thursday, July the 16th, 2026. Appreciate those that are with us in attendance as well as those that are with us online. We'll start out with a roll call. Let the record show that 4 of the 5 commissioners are here. Commissioner Turkett is absent. Ask everyone to please stand for a brief indication and pledge. If you would bow your heads, please. Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the many blessings of life. We ask for knowledge and wisdom to carry out the business of this county. Anything that we accomplish will give you the honor and glory. In Christ's name we do ask and pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Are there any announcements on the board? Any announcements on the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of minutes. First up, we have the minutes of the work session held on July 2nd, 2026. Any additions or deletions? Motions?
Motion to approve is presented.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. You're fine. You're fine. And that is approved 3-0. Next up, we have the minutes of the voting session held on July 2nd, 2026. Any additions or deletions? Motions?
Motion to approve as is.
Motion by Commissioner Bruce. Second by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 3-0. Next up, we have the approval of the agenda. I have 2 changes to the agenda. The items number 2 and 3 under new business. FY 2027 intergovernmental agreement between the Board of Education and Dawes County concerning school resource officers and property tax relief, local option sales tax resolution, and call for election. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda with those 2 changes.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bruce. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And the agenda is approved with the changes 3-0. Next up, we have public comment. We have 2 people who've signed up for public comment. Raymond Richards. Come on up, sir. You will have 3 minutes.
Good evening. I guess I might have to make this quick. Mine's on concerns with the floss that y'all discussed or touched base on. I think, first of all, you answered part of it, that the school fund's not going to be part of the floss itself.
Yes.
Okay. Then I go to, so the floss is similar to like a freeze tax, except on a freeze tax, it would benefit the elderlies, anyone that was 65 or older. Now, with the floss plan, what it's actually going to do is going to go across the board. There'll be a slush fund, then from that fund, which will be held in escrow, then those funds then at that time will be dispersed going from the highest to the lowest. You will go property owners first, establishment, people with $1 million homes going down, so that way it equals to the bottom or to the middle class, is what it's saying in House Bill 581. So is this correct?
My understanding, it applies dollar for dollar. So if you have $1 of property tax, we raise $1 of sales tax, and it offsets it dollar for dollar.
Okay.
There's not a
Tier system.
tier system or discrimination against what your house value is.
Okay, now if the education side of it is not part of this, and you're looking at, if we look at the education side of Dawsonville, if my evaluation is correct, we have 6 to 7 elementary schools, we have 3 middle schools, we only have 1 high school. So as we're moving forward with your comprehensive downtown strategic plan, that was a 10-year forecast, and as the county's moving in that direction with the schools that we have, then how is that going? And I know you can't answer this, but would it make common sense that the school board's going to have to put up more schools? In case in point, if we're following Cumming or Forsyth County, currently they have 42 to 43 schools.
Well, okay, first off, we can't answer that because we're not Board of Education.
That's what I said.
But I will say, we only have 4 elementary schools, we have 1 middle school, we have 1 junior high, and we have 1 high school.
I think your facts are a little wrong.
No, we have.
No, that is correct.
No, I don't
I
think so.
can read them to you if you'd like. Would you like me to tell you what they are? Give me longer than 3 minutes then to pull the paper.
You got Dawson County High School, you have Dawson County Junior High, you have Dawson County Middle School, you have Robinson Elementary, Riverview,
Blacks Mill and Kylo.
but you do have the pre-K. What's the pre-K one?
They're state funded though,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a separate thing.
so they're different. And then you have the alternative school, what is it called now?
Mountain Ed.
Mountain Ed, but
You got
they're-
Robinson, Riverview, Pine Grove, Blackburn.
No, those are
and
Lumpkin
Blackwood.
County.
Huh?
Blackburn is Lumpkin County. and-
Okay, Lumpkin County, got
So
you.
that's not, we only have 4 elementary schools.
Only have 4.
We do, and we have, like I said, 1 middle, 1 high, and 1 junior high. Now, I can't answer anything else about the Board of Education, but I just wanted to make sure you had those correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's not
and
a-
just removing that 1, then your elementary school has approximately 20,000 students currently. Currently, the middle school has
No,
approximately.
no. We don't have
Black Hill
20,000
Elementary-
students, period.
We only have
45
34,035 in the county.
4,500 K-12.
Yeah.
is
K
what
through
we-
12, you only
K
have
through 12,
942 in high school.
No,
No. We just graduated 290 kids in the most recent
Yeah.
class.
There's 3 grades. in
There's
that.
three
yeah,
grades
it's
in
only
that.
10th, 11th, and 12th.
We'd be more than happy to sit down with you and get you some other information if you
Sure.
would like
Yeah.
at a later date. That way you've
Well,
got.
I'm just looking at the school because what I'm seeing here and I'm concerned about, and these were questions and concerns, is that as the school, as we go into the FLOS, then what's going to happen is the school side is going to go up on their ad valorem tax that they're going to put. So let's say they go up to 20% or 25%, and you go down to 10%, we're still in the same boat we are today.
They're two different
And then the only thing that we're going to run into is we gain, it gives the presentation as if we're just gathering a new tax, a 1 penny or half a cent or 1 penny tax, because Bill 581 states either 0.5 or 1% maximum.
Yeah, that's
So-
correct.
Yeah, so I think the biggest takeaway from is there's needs to be a lot of information that's put out there and facts and data, so people that do have concerns, that we can make sure that, like yourself, if you've got concerns, that you understand that education is a
As
completely
separate
separate
than from
thing
the
than
Board
what we're
of,
talking about. So the
Commissions. I
two
understand
don't
that.
have anything to do with each other, and so we
But
can
it
have
still
conversations.
affects the property values for residents of the county.
It does not.
It does.
But we can get information for you. Absolutely happy to sit down with you.
Well, every year I have to pay the school side of it as well as the county side, so it does affect our property values.
Sure.
Is that not correct?
Not the way that the formula works. There is an assessment that's done, but then you have a millage rate times your assessment. We don't set the assessment. We don't set your assessed value. There's a separate department, separate entity that does that. We set the millage rate, and what we're talking about is a option sales tax that would be a dollar for dollar reduction on the county piece of that.
Which would take down the millage rate.
We'll drop
the
the
county
millage rate
side.
on the county side
Correct.
only.
Correct.
Correct.
But now the school
Does-
side can go up. Is that correct?
People can do anything they
But
want.
That's
can,
right, the school can
yes.
do
I've
anything it
talked to the
wants.
Board of Education about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that. It has that chance.
Okay.
All right, so-
And then my last one that I was gonna take a look at.
But wait, also, they always have the chance to go up, period. So even if,
correct.
even if the floss was not even a thing, they still have the ability to go up no matter what we decide to vote on with the millage rate. So
Well,
that's,
that is correct. As of 2 years ago, I believe it was, it might have been 3, the school board went up, but the board here decided to lower.
Correct.
Or almost charge nothing for its side. So
Correct.
that way it lowered people's property
correct.
taxes.
So we
So I
can't control what
understand
they do,
that.
but
That
we
has
are
happened.
trying to find a solution so that we can go down on the millage rate and not increase it, and maybe not even stay the same. So we're trying to do the part on the county side, and that's what Floss can provide.
Okay,
All right, so your time is up.
my time is up. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank y'all
We're
for the
happy to sit
information.
down with you to give you some more information. If you want to leave your information, we're happy to touch base with you.
All right, I
We can
appreciate
also
that.
give you contact information for the school so you can get with them on some of that stuff as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
get with you, I'll leave it.
Okay. All right, so we also have signed up for this public hearing, Kathy, how you say that? Come on up. Veach, okay. I was gonna say Vitek, but I guess that would've been wrong.
Boy, I tell you, it's a hard name to pronounce when you see it written, but it's Veach.
Veach, got you. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, I hope I don't take that long. Basically, I'm a little late to discuss with you all about the concerns regarding data centers. I could read from our paper that you were considering options to help rein in or control any data centers coming in. I would like, I've been reading, doing a lot of research regarding these data centers for, I'd say, for the last 6 to 9 months. And I just wanted to, one, ask if anybody on the board has actually gone to any of the data centers that have been built in, let's say, Newton County in that area, and found out from, a site visit exactly what is going on in these areas, and from the county leaders themselves. And if not, I would urge that some of these places be visited so you can get an eyes-on assessment. The second thing, I don't think we have to, anywhere in Georgia, I don't think we have to talk about the water issues. I mean, Georgia just doesn't have the water it needs, even though we're a large state. We have no natural lakes. Dawson County just had to build a large reservoir. Our next door, our big lake, Lanier, is already, being taxed to full capacity, at full capacity. And it's a serious issue. What's also serious from a water standpoint is the PFAS that comes out of these data centers. We talk about saving by a closed loop system. Well, that's, I urge people to start taking a look at these closed loop systems, because they may be closed loop within the facility, but there is a discharge that comes out of that into our storm drains in our water. And those are well known to be carrying significant amounts of PFAS. The problem with the PFAS is if you have 100 pounds of a PFAS chemical today, 100 million years from now, you will have 50 pounds of it. That's what they mean by a forever chemical. And that's that.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the public hearings. First up, we have amendment of Chapter 30 Occupational Tax Certificate Business Licenses and readoption of the amended Community Development Fee Schedule. This is the third of 3 hearings. The first hearing for the amended Community Development Fee Schedule was held on May 21st, 2026. Second hearing was held on June 4th, 2026, at which time That item was tabled until July 16th, 2026, for another public hearing after re-advertised to include a proposed Chapter 30 amendment. Richard?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With business license fees, as staff, we have heard from business representatives and members of the board have as well. And loud and clear, the sentiment of many business owners has been, please go back to the way the fees were before. And that's a reasonable request. This was an experiment, tried for about a year, well-intentioned, but, you know, we're glad to course correct. And in the sense of going back, what we're talking about is with business license fees on June 4th, the Board of Commissioners voted to table a proposal to revise the business license fees until July 16 to get a little more information and, you know, review the matter. And the additional legal ad ran on June 17, and that was after there had already been some public hearings. So if approved tonight, the new fee schedule would be effective August 1st. And there's an initial proposal and then a brand new proposal that is even more course correcting. So the initial thought was home occupations and seasonal businesses, $50 plus $50 per employee. Commercial businesses, $100 plus $100 per employee. The newer, even further course-corrected proposal is, and Commissioner Gaines and others can help me if there's needed correction, but I want to make sure to say this for the record. For those who are home occupations and seasonal businesses, the fee would be $100. Now, in recent times, the county has had an administrative fee. There would be no administrative fee. So again, when we're talking about home occupations and seasonal businesses, the fee would be $100. For commercial businesses, somebody who has one full-time employee would be $100 per employee. For two to, okay.
Okay, I'll let you speak, Chris, go ahead.
No, it would be a flat $200 with no administration fee. And then when you get above one employee, you go a flat 200. Once you go from 2 to 10 or 2 to 9 employees, it's still 200. And then once you get to employee number 10, you go 200 plus $15 per employee above that.
Okay,
Which
so
essentially takes us back to where we were before we made any changes.
and I think there was some question to have in writing about full-time equivalency, meaning either by full-time employee or if somebody, a company has two part-time employees, that would count as one full-time equivalency employee. So in writing, this would note full-time equivalency.
Correct.
Employee. So again, if there's one, it would be $200.
Correct.
2 to 9 employees would be $200
Right.
per employee.
No, flat.
No, just a flat.
Oh, just flat, just
yeah.
$200. Okay,
Essentially, if you've got less
Okay.
than 9 employees, you're commercial, then you're $200.
okay.
And if you go above 9 employees,
So
you're
10 or
commercial.
more.
You go 200 plus $15
Per head.
per employee, FTE.
Yeah,
Okay, so 10 or more
I shouldn't say employee, I should say
full-time
FTE.
equivalency
Correct.
employees, $200 plus $15 per employee.
Correct. Yeah, and you know, the way we got here is I think there was some idea that we shift, a lot of counties around us had shifted to more of a revenue-based perspective, which seems to be somewhat of maybe a trend, but rarely, I guess, and I'll say this, I open myself up, rarely do you ever hear an elected official say we messed up. But I think we tried to go down that path of trying to be consistent with other communities around us. And the feedback that we heard overwhelmingly was, number one, businesses they're really protective, obviously, of their revenue. I mean, I'm a partner in a business, I understand that. Number two, the fee schedule was really out of line with where we were previously. So we have taken, and Richard and your team has spent a tremendous amount of time by looking at this thing, and based on, truly, this is a true example of where this board has listened to the people and listened to feedback. We ultimately are kind of back to where we were at, and essentially are technically lowering it compared to where we're at because we're eliminating that additional administration fee. So it simplifies it. People had been used to that prior system for decades. And so administratively, I think the staff has said that this works really well. And they already had the system built, the technology built to administer it. And so I think it accomplishes a lot of things. It simplifies it. It reduces the overall cost for people to do business in Dawson County, and it further reduces what the cost was compared to where it was previously.
Thank you. And just again, because it was legally advertised and it's been a while since last came before BOC, just a public hearing, thank you, before making a decision.
Thank you. All right. At this time, I'll open up this hearing for the amendment of the Chapter 30 Occupational Tax Certificate Business License and readoption of the amended Community Development Fee Schedule. According to my paper, no one signed up to speak on this particular public hearing. Did anybody miss out their opportunity to sign up? All right, with that, I'll close that hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the changing of our business license component of the on the occupational tax certificate and business licensing to amend the community development fee schedule to be as follows: $100 for a home and seasonal based business in Dawson County, flat fee. And then for commercial-based companies would be $200 flat fee with employees of 1 to 9. And then above 9 employees, you go to a $200 flat fee plus $15 per employee. Per FTE, apologize, per FTE, not per employee.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines, seconded by Commissioner Stowers. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 3-0. Next up, we'll get second public hearing is amendments to the Dawson County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 109, Environmental Trees, Landscaping, Buffers, Erosion Control, Watershed Management, Stormwater. Second of two hearings. First hearing was held on July 2nd, 2026. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. During the July 2nd work session, I went over this item, and there were not significant comments. There were not significant questions during the public hearing portion from members of the public. This will again be a public hearing before you make a decision one way or the other. The only thing that changed in the last 2 weeks is the state EPD gave us a little bit of additional comments on erosion control. We've incorporated, and so if a decision is made, I would ask that this current information that's in your packet be the one to vote on.
Questions for Richard? Thank you, sir. All right, so at this time, I'll open up this hearing. We did have one person who signed up to speak, and that is Mr. Turner. Come on up. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Michael Turner, 51 Hedgewood Lane, Dawsonville, Georgia, 30534. I'm speaking in opposition to the landscaping and tree portion of this. I have no problem with the watershed erosion control component of that. But as a developer and builder, it costs me money to take those trees out. So I don't want to take any trees out that I don't have to. It costs me pennies. But if I don't take a tree out later, it costs me thousands and thousands of dollars to take that tree out after the fact if I didn't do it up front. We make money off those trees because it beautifies our developments. But we also have to be able to put in the sewer lines, the water lines, the electric lines, the foundations, and all those things. So we have to take a lot of trees out. And really, this tree ordinance is, in my mind, a tree tax and a way to stop development. The other component of this that I'm really opposed to is the forcing of planting trees before a certificate of occupancy of the house. I got a small little development just a mile away from here that has 37 homes in it. I was forced to put one tree in the front yard of every one of those homes. You go there now, only 3 of those original trees that I paid $500 a tree for are still there. The homeowners took them out because they didn't like the kind of tree or they didn't water them or whatever. So forcing me on the front end to put a tree in that my customer doesn't want, again, adds undue burden and cost, and it's just wasted effort. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So no one else signed up for that. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion that we approve the amendments to the Dawson County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 109, Environmental Trees, Landscape Buffers, Erosion Control, Watershed Management, and Stormwater, as presented in the packet.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Bruce. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. That's approved 3-0. Our third and final public hearing is adoption of resolution authorizing the transmittal of a draft capital improvements element annual update to the Georgia Mountains Regional Commission for Regional and State Review. Second of 2 hearings. The first hearing was held on July 2nd, 2026. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So nothing's changed since 2 weeks ago. This is very basic, required annual reporting from the state related to collection of impact fees. So nothing's changed.
Questions for Richard? All right. At this time, no one signed up. Let's see. Well, I'll open up the hearing, but no one signed up to speak in reference to this hearing. So I'll close that hearing. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the transmittal of a draft capital improvement element annual update to the Georgia Mountain Regional Commission for Regional and State Review as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Bruce.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Stowers. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 3-0. Next up, we'll move on to zonings. Go over the rules that we'll use in this zoning process. The planning director will present the application and recommendation of the planning commission. We'll hear from the applicant. We'll open the hearing. We'll hear from those who are in favor of the application. We'll hear from those who are opposed to the application. Each person wishing to speak will be allotted 3 minutes per our zoning guidelines, 10 minutes per side. The board can grant more time if they so desire. You will need to have filled out the form so that you can get on the list to speak. Anyone who has donated more than $250 or more to any candidate will need to fill out a form stating so. So first up, we have ZA 2614. Sean Courtney has submitted a request to the proper authorities on behalf of Bowl Wealth Management for a land use amendment to rezone approximately 20.89 surveyed acres from RA residential agricultural to CHI commercial highway intensive to allow for a proposed office, flex, and warehouse development. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the Georgia 400 mixed-use future land use character area map. The subject property is located at Whitmire Drive, Dawsonville, Georgia 30534. Parcel numbers 107-078, 107-078-004, 107-078-005, and 107-077. Tabled from the May 21st, 26, at which time a public hearing was held, and tabled again from June 18, 2026. The application was advertised for additional hearing to be held on July the 16th, 2026. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Cloud, a little bit unusual for these zoning cases. If possible, if as part of the packet, as part of putting on the AV, if the concept site plan or the survey, like for each zoning case, could be put up there, that would be appreciated. For this case that has been tabled and heard a couple of times, since it's been a while, the case was again legally advertised and will again be heard as a public hearing tonight before possible decision. Planning Commission heard this case in April for proposal of mixture of commercial and industrial, And in this case, it is really a light industrial, but mostly commercial in terms of the zoning district, CHI. And so this is meeting or consistent with the future land use or character area map of the comprehensive plan, Whitmire Drive near Lumpkin Campground Road, and about 21 acres where Planning Commission in April recommended approval with conditions. The conditions since April have mostly been incorporated into the revised concept site plan, including items about 15 feet of donation of additional right-of-way along Whitmire, 20-foot wide landscape strip confirmed in the area near Whitmire Drive to make sure to have full trees and landscaping area to avoid a potential future variance. The median to be added to the west entrance, which is the much less used, and the one closer to Lumpkin Campground would be right in, right out. So that has been done and changed by the applicant. And then the last one, Public Works had given input about the first entrance closer to 400, where that would be where most of the traffic would go in and out, just to get back to 400. And so having a deeper throat depth and making sure it's a good full access point with a left turn lane, and that has been completed and revised by the applicant. So part of what the input was from the board is desire for less industrial and more commercial, and within that more commercial, desire for professional medical office and potential positive uses like potential hotel, potential restaurant, and so, and bank and financial institutions. So the applicant has heard that additional input and the desire for much less percentage of overall use than 50% industrial. So what's been discussed more recently has been something similar to, and I'll let the applicant speak for his point of view and the board speak for theirs, similar to maybe 25% or less flex office space, storage, and then the vast majority, 75% being commercial. And then of that commercial, the question is really what percentage for some of these professional uses of office, professional office, medical office, hotel, restaurants, things that will really be significant value added for the community.
Questions for Richard? Thank you, sir. Is the applicant present? Come on up.
Sean Courtney with Lipscomb Johnson, 112 North Main Street, here on behalf of Bold Wealth Management. Yes, what Richard mentioned, we got rid of the warehouses in the back, and we're now showing, it shows retail, but willing to do commercial back there. Willing to do, limit the site to 25% retail, 23% flex, and then 52% some of those office, bank uses and stuff along that track. And also,
Can you slow down? Can you give me those numbers again,
oh,
please?
sure. So 25% retail, 23.
This is your max, is what you're saying?
Yes, yep. And then 23% flex. And then the other 52 would be, you know, non-retail commercial uses, including those that you mentioned.
That would be, just for clarification purposes, so that's gonna be, land uses would be banks, hospitals,
Professional.
Hotels, medical office, professional office, restaurants.
Yes.
No
If-
warehouse.
No warehouse. If it would please the board, if there's another use that we're not thinking of, that they have the ability to come to the county and say, hey, we'd like to do this, does that fit?
Yeah, I think I was a little disappointed when I saw your original response back to yesterday, I think it was, or day before yesterday, with just changing that to retail, but that's whatever. I think I communicated, I think the need for professional office building, even a 2 or 3 story office building where we can have a employment center, really, that whole hub. I mean, I like the property, I like the idea of it being, I mean, obviously it's gonna go commercial, but having a nice office complex there is something I think that would be something that's desirable to offer something beyond, because we're really heavy in, obviously, retail. We're really heavy in restaurants. We're kind of heavy in the flex space stuff. So limiting that, also limiting the flex for traffic control through there, I think is a possibility. But really trying to identify a nice professional office space is really kind of what I was leaning towards and tried to communicate clearly last meeting.
Okay.
But it sounds like you're okay with that.
Oh, sorry. Get that track. Okay. Yeah, no, you're good. I'm sorry. You mentioned 2- and 3-story office buildings. If that's okay, one of the conditions we proposed was single story. So if we could get rid of that condition, if that's something that you're interested in.
I mean, I'm okay with it because, I mean, you go vertical. I mean, we've got some medical office spaces on the 400 corridor that are 2 and 3 stories. And so I think you could do essentially the same product, whether it's being medical, which we're a crossroads for medical. So we get a lot of that ancillary medical office space. But a commercial office building, we just don't have a lot of that inventory. And I feel like this particular location could fit that very well, and you could find a market for that. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I don't know, Richard, I mean, is from a height standpoint, we haven't really dealt with that historically. That hasn't been something that's come up a lot. I mean, we do have the newest multi-story building is the one there that Northeast Georgia, I think, just built on 400, and then there was another 2- or 3-story medical office space that's right next door to it. But as far as the 400 overlay, we don't have any restrictions for height in there that's encompassed in that 400 overlay.
Have some height restrictions, but, right?
So we've got the hotel that sort of faces the Lumpkin side, sort of almost behind the Kroger, an extension of Kroger Shopping Center. So there can be 3- or 4-story buildings. And that's something where, of course, a lot more, it's about building code and fire, life safety, things like that.
They gotta meet that
Less so
regardless.
zoning. We do have general max building heights, but they could allow for 3- or 4-story. And as Mr. Courtney, the applicant, noted, there are a list of applicant-submitted zoning conditions, one of which talks about 1 story, but that can be struck if y'all would like. But if y'all consider any or all of those applicant-submitted conditions, you could take what the Planning Commission has noted and build on those, or just use your own. But I did want to point that out. Thank you that Mr. Courtney referenced. You know, it's in your packet now.
Question, and maybe I'm misunderstanding. So, okay, 23%, I think you said flex space, but then you said no warehouses. But warehouses are allowed in flex space, correct? I just want to make sure, like, what's going to be done in that?
Yes, that would be a combination of office and warehouse. I was referring to the rear of the site.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. I just wanted to clarify.
All right. So, I'll open up this hearing, but we had absolutely no one to sign up in support or opposition. So did anybody miss their opportunity to sign up before I close the hearing? Okay, so with that, I'll close the hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'm looking for those conditions to see what number.
Adopt just the
So
planning
I
commission
would,
with the one change to the height.
I would make a motion to approve ZA 26-14, removing the stipulation of the project being limited to single-story and allowing it to be multi-story as long as that's in agreement with our 400 overlay guidelines, as well as limiting retail to 25% of the project, flex space of 23%, and the following categories at 52% being banks, hospitals, hotels, medical office, professional office, and restaurants. That.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Gaines, seconded by Commissioner Stowers. Discussion.
would just add, if there is, I think that's where I'm comfortable today, because you guys don't have a project in mind now, or you don't have a buyer, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But if something pops up that's along those same lines in those categories, I think I could be open to potentially having another conversation at a different date if it makes sense. But I think I've communicated very well that I think the desire is for professional office space in that area.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, just a matter of clarification. The Planning Commission did recommend some conditions related to right-of-way, landscape buffer, the median. Are y'all applying any of those or any of the
All of
other
those.
conditions?
All of those conditions, but striking the one stipulation of the single-story limitation.
So all conditions by Planning Commission and all proffered conditions by the applicant with the exception of the single-story condition.
Correct.
I just have a quick question for y'all. So in CHI, it allows for 4 stories. Do we want to allow for that? I mean, that's good, 4 stories?
I'm okay with it.
Okay,
Fine with that.
okay.
I mean, the reality is it diversifies our economic base, and it provides for higher paying wages in commercial office buildings that we just don't have that right now. We don't have that in our portfolio, really.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further comment or questions? Hearing none, please vote. ZA 2614 is approved with the conditions, 3-0. All right, we'll move on to our second zoning, ZA 2616. Tyler Hester has submitted a request to the property authorities for a land use amendment to rezone approximately 5.13 surveyed acres from RSR residential sub-rural to RA rural agriculture to allow for an accessory building to be built before the principal building. The proposed rezoning consistent with the rural living future land use character area map. The subject property is located at 1693 Cowart Road, Dawsonville, Georgia, 30534. Parcel number 038-014. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Unusual but very basic request, just because the property is large. Normally, somebody can do an accessory building first on a vacant lot before the house. It's just a unusual standard because RSR is normally smaller lot zoning, and because it's a larger property in a more rural area, it absolutely makes sense. Is more in line with the surrounding area to rezone to RA and accomplishes the applicant's goal of being able to put a building up before the house.
Questions for Richard? Thank you. Is the applicant present? Okay. So we'll move on. I'll open up the hearing. Also on this one, we had no one sign up to speak in opposition or in favor. Did anybody miss out on their chance? Seeing none, I'll close that hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion that we approve ZA 26-16, rezone 5.13 acres from RSR to RA.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers. Second by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is ZA 2616 is approved 3-0. Next up, we have ZA 2617. Amy Butler has submitted a request to the proper authorities for a land use amendment to rezone approximately 5 surveyed acres from RA, rural agriculture, to RRE, residential rural estate, to allow for adjustment of property acreage to 3 surveyed areas. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the rural living future land use character area map. The subject property is located at 1337 Amiclola Church Road, Dawsonville, Georgia, 30534. Parcel number 035-017-002. Richard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Another basic rezoning application in order to move a property line and reduce acreage. The rezoning is necessary, but RA and RRE are both large lot rural zonings, and so there's been no objections, and Planning Commission recommended approval.
Questions for Richard? Thank you, sir. Is the applicant present? Come on up. Tell us what you want to do.
My in-laws had given me this 5 acres, maybe a little over a year ago. And I put a mobile home, because you had to have 5 acres to put a mobile home. So, in the meantime, they've decided they adjoining land to me, and they wanted to sell some of their property. So I'm just trying to give them 2 acres back that I don't need
Okay.
in order for them to be able to sell a larger piece of property.
Okay, questions for the applicant? Thank you, ma'am.
Can I ask a question?
You can.
If I do get this approved to do, is it okay for me then, in order to get that land put in their name? Can I move forward with that after, if it's approved? Like,
Yes,
I'm
after, if
good
it's
to.
approved, then you'll just need to talk with Richard. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
final step, yeah.
Yes, okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, so at this time, I'll open up this hearing. Also, no one signed up to speak in opposition or support of this particular zoning request. Anybody miss out on their chance? With that, I'll close the hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion to approve ZA 26-17, rezone 5 surveyed acres from RA to RRE.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved, 3-0. Next up, our fourth and final zoning is ZA 2618. Davis Engineering and Surveying has submitted a request to the proper authorities to amend the future land use character area designation from Dawson to Crossroads Commercial, followed by rezoning from RSR MM Residential Sub-Rural Manufacturer move to CCB Commercial Community Business. In addition, a special use permit will be required to allow parking, outdoor storage of operable vehicles, including cars, trucks, RVs, campers, boats, and similar uses. The subject property consists of approximately 6.689 surveyed acres. The property is located at the corner of Valley Road and Highway 53 East, Dawsonville, Georgia, 30534, parcel number 0940-094. Richard?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an unusual request. Multiple things going on at the same time. Want to change the future land use character area designation from Dawson to Crossroads Commercial. So right now, this request is not consistent with the future land use designation of the comprehensive plan. So that's number one, amend the future land use map. Second is rezoning from single-family residential, RSRMM, to CCB, and that's kind of a medium commercial district, community business. Third item is a special use permit to allow parking, outdoor storage of operable vehicles. And typically we don't know because 3-5 years from now, it could truly be just park a toy, campers, boats, but it could also be a variety of vehicles and, equipment. We just don't know with an outdoor parking lot, so it is somewhat speculative. The applicant has provided a good full concept site plan, and the applicant has been made aware that the intersection there of Highway 53 and Valley would need to be upgraded, as well as the entrance area where, in order to avoid 53, the main access point on Valley, so, a good bit of ways from the intersection, and then that would be a full commercial access point. The applicant has also been informed by the fire marshal that even though it's no structure, it's just a parking area, because it is a commercial use, there would be commercial grade fire requirements. There were no comments of significance during the Planning Commission meeting, and the Planning Commission recommended approval, but again, this is an unusual request.
Questions for Richard? Thank you. Is the applicant present? Come on up. Tell us what you'd like to do. Give us your name and your address.
Philip Anthony King, 198 Valley Road, speaking on behalf of the applicant, my dad, Philip James King. So basically, you kind of see what we got there. The future, what we see it as would be just boat and RV storage. Nothing nefarious, no equipment, anything like that. So that's kind of the plan, retirement plan for him.
Questions of the applicant? Thank you. You do have one person who signed up in support. Is it Paxton Anderson? Peyton.
I'm just here from a civil engineering standpoint to assist with any questions.
Okay. Thank you. That's the only person who signed up for the hearing portion. And so with that, I'll close that hearing. What is the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that we deny ZA 26-18.
Motion and a second for denial of ZA 2618. Motion by Commissioner Gaines, seconded by Commissioner Bruce. Discussion.
Some background, we've had other applicants up and down that corridor, so I think from a consistency perspective, it's in line with what we have denied in the past.
The biggest concern that I have with it is obviously it doesn't meet the land use plan. And so that would be the biggest concern for me in reference to this application. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please vote. No.
You're asking us to change the comp plan so it does meet the comp plan at that point, but it does not.
Yeah, because your request was to change it from the future land use character area designation from Dawson to Crossroads Commercial. So it doesn't meet the land use plan. All right, so I have a motion and a second for denial. Any further discussion on the board? Hearing none, please vote. And ZA 2618 is denied, 3-0. We move on to new business. First up, we have consideration of request to appoint a 5 or 7 member citizen advisory committee to study a community health property maintenance ordinance. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. And I don't know if anybody brought their list of people. Okay. I'll have to hunt it.
Do we need to vote specifically on the people or just vote?
Well, I think we need to decide if we're going to do 5 or 7 first. I mean, I had recommended 5. I don't know exactly what the board wants to do there.
I agree with 5.
You make a motion to do that, 5?
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the consideration of a 5-member citizen advisory committee to study the community health and property maintenance ordinance, and that within the next 2 weeks, each commissioner will provide staff with the name of the applicants that they choose to represent their area.
Second.
Okay. Okay. Motion by Commissioner Gaines to establish a 5-member board, and seconded by Commissioner Stowers, and then we'll provide those names to staff within the next 2 weeks. Any other discussion? Hearing none, please vote. And that's approved 3-0. Number 2, under new business, FY 2027 intergovernmental agreement between the Board of Education, Dawson County concerning school resource officers. That's a 50-50. They pay 50% of that, we pay 50% of that. It is a renewal, annual renewal. Any other information needed? Motions?
Make a motion, we approve the IGA with the school board to fund 50% on school resource officers for the upcoming school year.
Motion by Commissioner Gaines, seconded by Commissioner Bruce. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And and that is approved 3-0. Finally, we have property tax relief, local option sales tax, or FLOSS resolution and call for election. We talked about that earlier. This would give the citizens an opportunity to vote to determine if they wanted to approve a FLOSS to lower property tax. Any other information needed? Motions.
Make a motion, go ahead.
Make a motion that we approve a resolution of the Board of Commissioners to authorize and call a special election to consider whether a 1% property.
Will be on the November 3rd election. It wouldn't be a special one.
Motion to approve a resolution of the Board of Commissioners to authorize a election during the November election season to consider whether a 1% property tax relief, local option sales tax, or PTR lost sales and use tax should be implemented for a period of 5 years, and for the proceeds to be used exclusively for the reduction of ad valorem property taxes within Dawson County.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers, seconded by Commissioner Bruce. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. All right, so that concludes that, but we do have a need to go in executive session to discuss potential litigation and land acquisition. So I'll entertain a motion to go in executive session.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Stowers. Seconded by Commissioner Gaines. Discussion. Hearing none, please vote. And that is approved 3-0. Well, thank you for your attendance. There'll be no vote coming out of executive session. And so we'll take about 5 minutes and we'll meet back in executive session.